See the bags? Can you see them? Whew. So today, honestly, has not been the most productive day. And I kind of went back and forth as far as if I should shift my conversation, if this should be my conversation. Talking about entrepreneur life, me being an entrepreneur, and me kind of wanting to have this conversation with you guys around the coronavirus triggers, questions, what are we going to do, what we should do, what are you doing? Yeah. So we've been watching this kind of play out for several weeks now. And I've just kind of been going in back in my mind and trying to remember when exactly I first heard about the virus, that it was happening. And today has to be honestly the most triggering day for me. Um, and I don't know. Yeah, I do know because I don't watch the news. I don't watch television, so I can't necessarily say that. Forget. Let me say this. I don't watch religiously. I like how some people will like every day at like 3 or 4 times a day. They're watching the news, and I don't consume it to that degree. Um, but I say that to say today has been a very triggering day. It's like everyone is buying lots of stuff, and everybody is either canceling things or closing things or calling me and do you have toilet paper? Do you have, does your kid have hand sanitizer? Are there any cases in your area? How are you doing? And it's just been like, and I kind of wanted to, out of curiosity, not ramble, because I don't want this to be a ramble session, but out of curiosity, I wanted to find out from you, what are you guys doing right now? It's very difficult for me um, to have this conversation with you because I don't want to say anything and put any false information out there. But I just kind of honestly wanted to have a conversation that where we could share our feelings around what's going on. As an entrepreneur, I work from home. And I have opportunities to, go places and travel and speak and do things. And I'm just trying to do a couple of things right now. One is plan, you know, thinking about, is it wise to go long distances? Is it wise to do air travel? Is it wise to attend events with several hundred people? I'm thinking about outside of planning preparation, right? You know, against my I wouldn't say against my better judgment, but it always try to be like not one of those people to go out and try to like buy everything and go crazy. So right now it's about pausing, just kind of reflecting on what I'm seeing, trying to figure out what's the right information, what's real factual information. We've got our alcohol, we've got our water, we've got our toilet paper, pausing, not going crazy, but getting things in preparation without going overboard. What are you guys doing? What are you planning? What are you preparing for? These are the kind of questions that I actually just today, again, has not been the most productive day because my mind's just been whirling with these questions. And so today I said, you know what, because we've been talking about productivity these last few days, let me pause on that, and then just kind of see what you guys are thinking right now, what you're seeing right now, what you're hearing, what you believe, what you feel, what you're planning, so that we can kind of go back and forth and just kind of talk to each other, and get out of our heads. I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know what your day has been like. But this has just been, for me, um, a day full of consuming lots of different sources of information, and then to some degree feeling a bit of anxiety around that because it becomes triggering. And to some degree, that hysteria comes with that social media and comes with just media simply, I don't know, to some degree manipulating us. I know that there are things that we need to be prepared, aware of and prepared for. But I don't want us to be in a space where we think too rashly and we do things haphazardly. We cause ourselves too much anxiety. So I've just decided, I say all of that to say this because I do feel like I'm rambling. I don't know how to have this conversation in a way that doesn't, I don't want to give you any triggering information in a way that doesn't trigger you or continue to do any further triggering to myself. So this is hard for me. Forgive the babble. But again, number one, my reason for having this conversation today is because I wanted to let you know all the thoughts that were swirling around in my head, and out of curiosity open up the discussion so you guys can let me know what you're thinking, what you're doing right now to plan, to prepare, to pause, to protect yourselves, to protect your families, and honestly to stay positive. I believe, I always come on here and I share with a big old smile on my face, and I always have, I'm always about being proactive and getting things done and obviously being productive. That I've been talking to you guys about that for the last few days. And I want to keep that energy up, right? And so I want to know what you're doing to stay positive, and what you're doing to counteract all of these sources of information that we're being bombarded with. You cannot help it. You go on various social media platforms and you look at your news sources and it's everywhere. You can't help but being bombarded by all this information. What are you doing to pause, to protect yourself, not only from the coronavirus, but from the hysteria and the anxiety and the triggering? Um, I've had a good conversation with the hubby today. And, I just spoke to my mother. But at the same time, I'm also like, okay, we can't go too deep down the rabbit hole where we're consumed by this to the point where we don't do other things and we're not productive, or we sit and talk about different cases, or did you see that video? Did you watch this thing? And we can't go down that thing. So I had to kind of nip a couple of those in the bud, a couple of those conversations. But um, I was super excited a few weeks ago about traveling to all these new places and doing all these different events, and now I'm looking at people closing things and canceling things and rethinking things. Will you guys be traveling? Are you going to, not, or are you changing your plans? What are you doing as far as your business is concerned? Um, just kind of curious to see where you guys are, and what you're thinking. So yeah, that's it. That's really it for today. Um, More so than me doing this video, I'm just kind of curious to see the conversation that comes after the fact around it. Because ultimately, as an entrepreneur, I spend, outside of the time that I'm either on the phone or talking to clients or family or whoever, spend the majority of the time at home. And so many people now are being told to stay home or don't go to all these places. And I'm like, I'm already at home. So I don't have a lot of any water cooler conversations to really talk to other people and find out what, outside of the people I'm seeing grabbing everything at Walmart and CVS and the Dollar Tree. I don't have conversations with other humans, enough of them anyway, to really assess what you guys are doing, how you're reacting and handling what's happening right now. So, yeah, this is just my kind of plea to you guys to check in with me. Let me know what your thoughts are, how you're moving right now. And as for me, I'm taking a pause. I'm figuring out how I'm going to further continue to protect myself and my family to prepare for whatever is coming up next, to plan and make adjustments wherever needed, and ultimately stay positive. So those are a couple of things that I'm aiming to do. I encourage you to do the same too. Uh, let's see where this conversation goes. Alrighty, my dears.